Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be reviewing the MacBook Air 2020 that Apple recently released, and the question I'm going to answer today is if you gotta have it. If you like the content, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed the content. Alright, so starting off with the specific configuration that I have in front of me, it is the quad-core i5 processor with 8GB of DDR4 memory, Iris Plus graphics. It has the Retina display along with the 256GB storage. So I want to talk about the colors first that Apple does provide with these laptops. So it is the gold, which I think is rose gold, the space gray, and the silver that they've been having for many years now. The build quality is all aluminum. It's really good. Apple has some of the best build quality when it comes into laptops. It really feels solid and dense. I also said before that the slanted design allows you to have a more comfortable typing experience for longer durations. I know with some other laptops compared to the Surface laptop, like I said before, that's more boxy. It really does hurt your wrist after a while, but I found with the slanted design that Apple has on the MacBook Air, it really does make for a comfortable typing experience. All right, now moving on to the ports. So it still has the same ports that it had on the 2019 model. So it has two Thunderbolt 3 ports and a headphone jack, which is nice. So compared to the 8th generation Intel processors in the 2019 model, we now move forward to the 10th generation Y processors that Intel offers. It's really good. They also now provide quad-core processors in the i5 and i7. However, I don't think with the target audience for the MacBook Air that anyone should be considering the i7 processors. You should only be trying to decide of the i5 or the i3 processor. In terms of performance, I know a lot of people like to do video editing, but I don't recommend doing video editing on this. It was a nightmare for me. I want to say, like, for the typical college student, if you're writing a lot of papers, browsing the web, checking emails, watching movies, or just watching videos in general, then this laptop is really good, especially for the price, which is also another big plus from the 2019 model. They actually dropped it down $100. And if you meet the requirements that Apple has on the education website, you can actually get another $100 off. So you can get the i3 256GB starting at $899, which I think is a really good price for the MacBook Air. Moving on to the networking, we have the Wi-Fi 5 or the 802.11 AC. Storage is great. It now starts at 256 instead of 128, and it goes all the way up to 1 terabyte. However, I think people can probably manage with 256 and leveraging some online cloud storages. So unlocking the device, it's using Touch ID, which is really nice. All you have to do is click the button and you're in. However, like I've stated before in my comparison video, if you have an Apple Watch, you can unlock the MacBook with the Apple Watch, and it is much faster than using Touch ID, and it's hands-free, which is nice. The keyboard also is now improved from the butterfly switches. It's now using Apple's Magic Keyboard, which is what the keyboard everyone used to love back in the day. And the typing experience is really good. I have no complaints about it, and I think most people would like it over the previous butterfly switches that they had before on their laptops. So moving on to the trackpad, it is about 20% larger than the 2019 model, and it's using Apple's Force Touch. So when you push down on the trackpad, it actually gives you back some haptic feedback, which is nice. I always tell people it's a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad, and it's a really nice experience. Some of the best in class trackpads that Apple has to offer. Right now, I'm going to show you guys the webcam and built-in audio, and let me know what you guys think of it.
All right, so this is the camera and audio quality of the MacBook Air 2020. I think the camera looks pretty bad in my opinion, and it really confuses me how all these companies are making really good cameras on smartphones, but they just neglect the cameras on their laptops.
And then now I'm going to do a speaker test for you guys, and you can let me know how it sounds.
Just a little bit more fingerprints on the screen if you do touch the screen a lot, whereas on the MacBook Air has more, since you're not going to be touching the screen as much, there's not going to be as much fingerprints on there.
All right, so now coming up to the battery life, you actually do get, I believe, a year, not a year, that'd be insane. You get about an hour less of battery life, and I don't think people really understand how much the Retina display is actually draining the battery compared to the non-Retina display that Apple had on their MacBook Air products. It also doesn't get as bright, which is kind of disappointing, but that's just one of the compromises you have to make with the MacBook Air, but it does get bright enough for most use cases. I will say probably working outside in direct sunlight, you might have a little bit of trouble. One of the things I want people to understand is you have to know the target audience that Apple is pushing for these products. If you are gonna do video editing, then the MacBook Air isn't something you should consider. If you're going to be doing a lot of programming or doing a lot of computations in an Excel sheet, then the MacBook Air isn't for you. You should be looking into the MacBook or the MacBook Pro. With that being said, this is the cheapest option to get into the macOS ecosystem, or I should say the Apple ecosystem. And you know, this laptop is good. If you're, like I said, if you're going to be writing papers, watching movies, taking notes, doing very like minimal work, then this laptop is perfect for you if you want macOS. But if you want a little bit more performance, I would say go with the MacBook Pro. My only problem that I have with recommending the MacBook Pro, and I'm not talking about the 16-inch, 13-inch is still using the butterfly switch keyboards, and I almost never recommend upgrading to those butterfly switch keyboards on the MacBook Pro, just because they've had a lot of reliability issues, and I know Apple has their program where they'll fix it for free, but I don't think many people like the keyboard in general. And I would say that if you come this far without upgrading yet, wait until Apple refreshes the new MacBook Pro if you need a little bit more performance, because I think that will be a better buy, and I think they also understand that no one really wants the butterfly switches anymore. Wait a couple more months and see what Apple has to offer, and if the MacBook Pro is out of your price range, then the MacBook Air is pretty much your only alternative, or an older MacBook Pro. Another thing I want to discuss is the temperatures. I know there's a lot of controversy with the temperatures that the MacBook Air, specifically the i5, has. Personally, I've gotten from 95 to 100 degrees Celsius while using this. I wasn't doing anything too heavy, keep that in mind. But I don't think it's something people should really worry about. I mean, laptops in general get pretty hot, and when you have a device that's this thin and light, and I understand that Apple didn't connect the heat pipe or the heatsink to the CPU, so that also spikes up the CPU really bad. But I don't think it's something people should worry about. It is a quad core, like I said, and a device that's this thin and light. It does come with a couple compromises, so just keep that in mind. So don't worry about temperatures too much. Just know what this device is made for. Like I said, if you're gonna be doing video editing, programming, things like that, this device is not something you should be looking at. All right, so that's gonna do it for me today, guys. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a like. And if you wanna see more tech content, please make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions about the MacBook Air 2020, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, look at that. Earth from the ISS. Nice. I love Apple wallpapers. Beautiful. All right, much love.